This film is of young people speaking about their experience of bereavement, whether that may be the loss of a parent, a grandparent, a sibling, or even a friend. We hope that this film can answer some of the questions that you may have about your loss.
Whenever I was about 9, I lived with my grandparents. Normal for me was coming downstairs every morning and seeing my grandparents, just getting on with their daily routine. When they passed away, my whole world was really shaken and just turned upside down. There really is no such thing as normal, but you can have a general routine that you can be used to. And I realised that it wasn't my fault and that your idea of normal can be different to what it used to be. I have a memory box where I put different pictures in and write certain things down that I remember and just keep them there, and I bring it out and light a candle, and that's to show when I'm thinking about them.
9-10 years ago, I lost my granny, my great granny, and my baby sister within the space of a year. Bottling things up doesn't help. It's just, if you were to grab your phone, send a Snapchat, go on Facebook, someone's gonna always reply. All my friends are always gonna reply and always gonna look out for me and always be there for me. Because no one's ever gonna be alone. You're always gonna have someone there that will actually care.
I lost my uncle when I was 8, and then 2 years after that my granda and then my granny. As I lost them at such a young age, I felt like I didn't get enough time to spend with them. Because he lived so far away from me, I didn't get to spend an awful lot of time with him. But the time that I did spend, I valued it and I remember it, and it was all good memories. Instead of thinking about what time I could have spent with him, I think about the time that I did spend with him. So if I was going to say one thing, it would be to spend as much time as you can with your loved ones so that you don't regret it if they pass away.
When I was 9, I lost my dad quite suddenly, and not long after that, my aunt in a short space of time. And that time period in my life was probably the worst, obviously. But it wasn't even so much the fact that my dad was dead. The household instantly was a different household, and it wasn't the place I'd grown up. The security was completely gone. I didn't feel really safe anymore. I didn't really feel like it was my home anymore, and because of that, I felt pretty abnormal. I know now, that I was perfectly normal, but no one really explained that to me because I didn't tell anybody how I felt, because I was happy to pretend as if everything was as we'd left it a week ago. As terrible as it is that they've died, in many ways they very much get off the easiest because it's everyone that gets left behind that's left with all the horrible effects that their passing has had.
Been with Cruse for 9 years, quite a while. I came here whenever my granny and granda had died. People tend to confuse being broken and upset. They think someone dies, you're going to be upset forever. Sometimes you might go back to thinking about that person and you might be a wee bit down, but you're not going to be that way forever. You're not going to be upset all day, every day, just because that person's not in your life anymore. And you will continue to lose other people. It's just life. It's the way life goes on, life and death. No one really knows how they're going to cope with grief and death until it actually happens. And every death is going to have a different effect on you as a person. You might just go off on your own. Another time you might be better in a group and have that support. You're not actually going to be broken. There will be times when you hit rock bottom, but it's not until you try and get to the top that you realise you were at rock bottom.
My dad died in May 2016. What's normality anyway? It's different for everybody, but maybe this is my new normal, but it doesn't have to be. Thinking that I won't come out of feeling this way. That if I fight hard enough, I will. And it's all willpower to me. I just gotta fight with my own head. I can't get stuck in my own head, and I can't sit and think and think. I just have to fight and remember that I have family. I have family that are there for me. I am my dad's legacy. When people think of me or my family, they'll think of him. And I just want to give him the best legacy he can. Because he raised me for 16 years of my life, and I just want to do him the justice for what he did for me.
I think why grief and bereavement is so difficult is because there isn't really any answers to the questions that you ask. Why is it me this is happening to? Why did it have to be my daddy? And I really struggled with that for a while because no one could answer my question. Why was it me? Why was it him? I feel like when I first lost my daddy and I was going through bereavement, that I was looking at everyone else around me and I felt trapped in my own little world of sadness and grief. Okay, this is a quote that I felt really helped me when I was going through my grief. Someday you will be faced with the reality of loss, and as life goes on, days start rolling into nights, it will become clear that you never really stop missing someone special who's gone. You just learn to live around the gaping hole of their absence. When you lose someone you can't imagine living without, your heart breaks wide open, and the bad news is that you never completely get over the loss. They will live on in the warmth of your broken heart that doesn't fully heal back up, and you will continue to grow and experience life, even with your wound. The people you lose remain a part of you. Remember them and always cherish the good moments that you had with them. You learn to live with your grief, and you learn to keep that person with you no matter what.
You realise adults aren't perfect, and that they make mistakes, and that their judgments aren't always wise. When a child first catches the adult out, when it first walks into his grave little head that adults do not have divine intelligence, that their judgments are not always wise, their thinking not always true, their sentences not always just, his world falls into panic desolation. The gods are fallen and all safety is gone, and there is one sure thing about the fall of gods: they don't fall a little, they crash and they shatter or sink deeply into the green muck. It's a tedious job to build them back up again. They never quite shine, and the child's world is never quite whole again. It's an aching kind of growing. That is how I would summarise those early days when my dad died. I could see the people that were my primary carers, my mum and my godmum, not quite being who they were anymore. And my dad, his presence, he had a big magnitude, and I don't think we've ever really recovered from his absence. I don't think we ever will.
I lost my dad, who took his own life a week before Christmas in December 2008. I'm still angry, but that's okay. Whenever I used to go to counselling because I found it hard to talk, I used to draw pictures just to try and talk about my dad. Like, I found it hard to even say his name. My counsellor asked me if I was angry at my dad, and I said no because I didn't want him to judge me. And I said that I understood why my dad had done it and that I was okay with it, but I wasn't. Of course I was angry. I couldn't understand why my dad would want to leave me. But it'll have been 10 years this year since I lost my dad, and sometimes I still am angry with him, but that is okay. It's okay to feel however you're feeling, and your feelings will change with time. Instead of having to focus on losing him and how I felt, I just talked about memories I had and how that felt. There's other ways to deal with how you're feeling than just bottling it up or taking your anger out on someone who doesn't deserve it.
If you do need support, or even just someone to talk to, you can find us on our Hope Again website, our Facebook page, or our YouTube channel. You can even contact us for some support via email.